We're looking at the Suffolk County property report. Since property data in Suffolk County can vary pretty much from town to town, I've put up a number of different property reports that I'm going to cycle through so you can see all the different types of towns and all the different data that you might see when you bring up a property in Suffolk. The first thing you're always going to see is a photograph of the property, and the first photo we always show is a Google Street View photo. But you'll notice when I put my mouse over it, you have these left and right buttons so you can cycle through additional photos. Town of Babylon actually happens to have an assessor photo as well, so the next one you'd see is an assessor photo. And then if the property is listed for sale or for rent, then we'll also have the realtor photos of the listing itself added here as well. To the right of the photographs, we have a map of the surrounding area. We can zoom in and out. And we could also turn on and off different overlays of the map, such as the satellite view, flood zone, tax parcel, and the zoning map. Below the photograph of the map is the address, the legal ID, the district, section, block, and lot of the property, and the owner summary, the owner and the owner's address. Moving along on the left side of the property report, we see the flood zone. Flood zone X normally means that there's no flood zone. If there's any other flood zone code, it's in some level of a flood zone. The current taxes and assessed value, and the sound score, which will measure factors such as business traffic, vehicle traffic, and airports to come up with a sound score to tell you how loud the property is. In the middle column, below legal ID, we see parcel information. So you see Class 220, which is a two-family home. Again, if you need to see a list of all the building classification codes, here's a link over here, which if you open, will show all the New York State classification codes. Township, energy standard, school district, acres, and other information would appear in the parcel details. Moving over to the right is the building information. Now, building information is definitely something that can vary widely from township to township. But this is where you would see information such as style, year built, room count, square footage, garage, and so forth, again, where it's available. Since this property is listed for sale, we see here that it's we'll have the realtor information about the listing. So rather than the GeoData information, which is often from public record, we see the bedrooms, the square footage, and the style and the listing price as per the real estate agent. And if we wanted to see the full history of the listings on this property, there's a link over here. Below this information, you'll see additional details available on the property, such as telephone numbers listed at the property, sales history, mortgage details. There's other information that you might see on property reports that don't appear on this one, but we'll move on to another property report. And we could see right up top that there's a notification that there's a list pendants on this property. So we could do one of two things. We could either scroll down or we could actually click on the notification, and it takes us down to the bottom of the property report below the improvements, which I'll get to in a moment, below the sales history, below the mortgages, and it'll take us to the list pendants detail. So we see here there was a list pendants recently filed on the property. It'll tell us the amount, the plaintiff, and the defendant. And this property is also a good example of one that has external improvements on it. So external improvements are garages, porches, sheds, pools. That kind of information would appear in the improvement section, and oftentimes we'll also see details about those improvements, such as the area and even the year built. From here, we have additional options we can do at the top of the page. We have a new search, which takes us back to the very beginning. Sign out takes us out of GeoData, back to the previous page. Of course, we could print the property report, and comparables. So if you're looking to find properties that have sold or that are listed in the surrounding area, we click on comparables in order to do that.